let's get right into it. Obviously, before you attempt this skill, you should already have like a toss extension and a toss lib. Those are essential before you do this trick. So when you're first trying to learn this, hopefully you're stunning with a girl that's already done it before. If you're both learning at the same time, make sure you guys watch a lot of videos of how the stunt actually looks and how it's supposed to be performed, so you guys know generally what to do beforehand. Okay, so for the guy, make sure you toss it at least halfway, at least like halfway from the top, because you want to be able to get your grip pretty well before you have to absorb it down to switch it on the way back up. It's really helpful, because if you catch it really low, like some guys toss here and then they catch it like this and then they try to dip from that, it's a lot harder because the timing isn't there as much. So you want to at least get it here. If you can get it here and just prove to yourself that you can toss it all the way up there, that's fine too. It's just going to make it easier for you to get your grip. Now, about the grip. The grip depends upon what you like best. Now, you can do it like a perfect lib grip, which is just like this with your right hand and your left hand kind of wraps over it, or it can be just like this, kind of like fitting like a glove. You can do that grip on the way when you first catch it, but for me it's kind of hard because your elbows kind of get crunched and your hands kind of like turn in like this. So I don't know, I don't feel very stable when I do that, because I touch my chest a little bit. I know sometimes they teach you to like not touch your chest. The problem with touching your chest is that it might go off the front. Like, you just got to be able to, control that and make sure that doesn't happen. Obviously, that's a very common thing, that it goes off the front. So make sure you keep your elbows up and keeping it nice and tight here. You don't let it sink down. So it's keeping your chest up, elbows up, and then keeping that nice and flat so it's able to switch really well. But the grip. So you're here or you're here. I like to wrap my hand in the beginning. So I'm here. I like to catch it kind of like this, because it's like, I don't know, it's just stable. So it's here, and then I give myself a nice pop to allow for the switch. And then I actually move my hand placement to the correct lib grip. So I go from here, like I dip here, and then I actually switch to the proper lib grip, which is that. And it's very clean that way, and it looks good. So, it's up to you what your personal preference is and what works for the flyer the best. Making sure that you both feel safe and comfortable with the skill. That's the most important part. Another really good tip for the guy is, if you feel like it's coming and then you're here and you're always absorbing it to push it back up, you might have to give it a little bit more power, a little bit more height, so it replaces in the right spot, but also you might be waiting for it. And waiting for it means that you're just here and you're like switch here, and then you're just kind of here and you're like waiting for it to slam on top of you. You want it to be weightless when you catch it, because you don't want to absorb it too much. It should be a switch hit instead of a switch that, So you want to dip, and then you want to almost go and get the feet. I've said it before. Go and get it, like reach for it before you're actually standing. Like sometimes, I might go on my tippy toes and grab it, and then kind of start absorbing it before I actually have to hold it. And then that slows it down so I can control it, and then it stands like, and then it and then it stands on top of you perfectly. So yeah, going to get the feet before it hits you helps with the control of the stunt and making it look effortless. Also, last thing for the guy is that if the girl is kind of new to the skill, she might not replace exactly in the center, which is going to happen. So she might replace more off to the right, because she's switching her right leg down, so it's probably going to go off to the right more so. And, she might kick more sooner or later. So you kind of got to be prepared for that. And this is how you be prepared for that. You dip, and you're here, and you're dipping with it, and then you switch, but you kind of give it more time in the air. So she can like move where she's gonna move, but you can kind of anticipate it. So you're here, you're dipping, and then you kind of you give the power faster and you release sooner. So you can have the time to spot where she's going. And then obviously, also when she's switching, you wanna watch the other leg so you can see what's happening. So you can see it come down in your hands. So you kind of release sooner. Obviously you give enough power to do that. And then you start seeing her foot where it's gonna go, and then you kind of move if you have to. You move to where it's gonna be. You don't wanna do that every time, but if that's kind of a fluke, you wanna be able to correct what's happening, and you can anticipate it and move to where she's gonna be, and then then it can still look clean even though it moved a little bit. That's just one of the ways you can correct a little minor fix that the girl needs to make. All right, a couple quick things for the flyer to think about. When you are pulling your left leg, pulling your left lip, your right leg is in the air. You can't see it right now, but your right leg's in the air. You gotta be very comfortable with standing on your left leg. And obviously you're used to standing on your right leg. You have your leg up in the air. You're like, yeah, right leg. Get used to the left one. Like, stand on it at home. Do whatever you need to do to get super used to that. Like, I'm standing on one leg right now. You can't see it, but I'm used to it, you know? But yeah, get super used to it and make sure that your left lib looks the same as your right lib, because you don't want your leg to be like dangling down and then it's just gonna throw the stunt off. It's gonna go in different areas. So make sure it's all the way up. Your knee is parallel to your hip. If you can balance something on it, then it's working. So make sure you keep your knee all the way up and keep it tight to your leg. And then as you switch, the hardest part is to switch in the same spot. So when you're practicing it by yourself, just pull your left leg, dip, and then switch your feet, and then just have your foot land in the same exact spot as your left foot. And just holding the left lib and making sure you're comfortable and actually like performing it correctly. So that's just one of the ways to practice it, but making sure that your motions are tight and sharp, that's gonna help you so much. If you're a little timid and scared to do the left lib, you're not gonna do the stunt as well as you could. So just be really confident with it. Before you start stunting, hold the left lib as much as you can. You get super comfortable with it, and then you can incorporate it into the actual stunt, and then you learn it a lot faster. And one last one, when you're going up to the left lib, you can either have your arms down at your side when you pull your left one, like right in the beginning, and then as you switch, you go up to your right. Up to you. Some girls go on their hips, you know, they're here and then they switch and then they go to here. But usually as they switch their right leg all the way up, they go into a high V because it helps them lift up into the stunt so it doesn't feel crashing so much. So you lift up and you're here, it's gonna help the base a lot. And so just a couple things for you to remember. Stay safe, have fun, and let's hit some low to highs. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Can't wait to make more videos. Keep on sending in suggestions of what I should make. I already have a huge list of things you guys already said, so I can't wait to start making more of them. And stay tuned for next week. Peace out. Peace out. It's not going away. It's not going away.